What are you doing?
Nothing. Go back to sleep.
Well, I got the regional conference on Thursday, so see if you can fix up a constituency meeting for the night before. Wednesday, and sort them out a bit. Not all OAPs with rising damp, eh? Oh, I must go, Harry. See you Wednesday lunchtime. Bye.
Good morning, sir. Detective Inspector Gradley, CID.
Morning.
I'm sorry to trouble you, Mr. Mead, but as you may have heard, there was a spot of bother over at flat 32 last night.
So I gather.
Yes. I couldn't help noticing that one of your windows overlooks the well.
It's my bedroom.
Ah. Yours seems to be the only flat occupied on this floor, sir.
Yes, there's more decorators than tenants at the moment, I'm afraid.
I wondered if you'd mind if I had a quick look, sir.
Well, not at all. Of course, come in.
Oh, thank you. Were you in last evening, sir?
Yes, had some facts to bone up on a major policy speech in the offing. I came to bed about 11. It might have been later, please.
Ah, thank you. Ah, yes. Yes, this is it. No fire escape. Overhanging trees. Convenient drain pipe. Did you see or hear anything, sir?
No.
Were you alone?
Yes, my wife's in the country, at our home up in the constituency.
Was the window closed?
Yes.
Warm night.
Well, I always sleep with it closed.
Ah, I always sleep with mine open. Expel those nasty carbonic acid gases.
Really?
Yes, otherwise I'm like a wet rag in the morning.
I'm afraid I do have to be at the Commons.
Oh, of course, sir. So sorry.
So sorry I can't be more help.
Oh, yes, so am I, sir. Oh, if anything does occur to you, sir, you can always contact me at the yard.
Who was she?
She?
The dead girl.
Dead girl, sir.
My dear fella, what the hall porter downstairs doesn't know hasn't happened, believe me.
That's the sort of witness we need, sir. I'll get in touch with him. Her name was Jennifer Seymour, sir. Age 23. Call girl. Well, thank you for your help, Mr. Mead. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
I really must apologise for Richard.
Don't be silly, it's not his fault.
Well, to come for one quick drink and then stay half the evening. Well, he really should be here by now.
Don't worry. Esther, can I show Martin the flat? Yes, of course.
Thank you.
Well, what do you think of him?
He seems nice.
Oh, you're not too impressed?
I didn't say that.
Well, you didn't have to.
Well, I've only just met him. It's a little difficult.
Well, do you think he's too old for her?
I don't think so. I don't think age has anything to do with it.
Well, I hope you're right. It seems serious this time.
Was the last time.
Well, I must say he's an improvement on some. I wonder what Richard will think of him. Richard always gets so uptight. Oh, listen to me. It must be the drink. I've been dying to use that word for months. Where was I?
Richard. And I'm dying to meet him.
You'll like him, but Debbie's boyfriends always bring out the worst in him. For one thing, they're usually high Tory, guaranteed vote losers. I must say, it's a bit hard to have the local electorate choose your son-in-law. Oh, I wish Richard could laugh more. You know, either there's something very earnest about socialism, or I married a man with no sense of humour.
It's a lovely flat.
Thank you.
Debbie tells me you read palms.
Esther's an astrologer, darling, not a palmist.
Oh, I'm sorry. Have I said the wrong thing?
Well, she's hardly Madame Arcati.
No, hardly. But I thought it was all allied and...
No, it definitely isn't.
Sorry, my mistake.
And as she has a clientele that'd make your eyes pop out, I think
Look, don't worry, Debbie. I'm used to people thinking what I do is bizarre.
No, not bizarre. Just admit to a touch of healthy skepticism, that's all.
Well, if all the scientists had listened to the skeptics, there wouldn't have been much progress.
We don't call this a science, surely.
Oh, yes. In the calculations necessary to set up a horoscope, it is a science. And when an astrologer starts to interpret that horoscope, that science becomes an art.
Well, he doesn't look too convinced. Give him something for his skepticism to gnaw on.
Well, come on. All right. John Kennedy's death was accurately predicted. So was the rise of Hitler. Hissler, according to Nostradamus. That's not bad. One letter out, 400 years before the event.
Well, that's not bad.
When were you born, Martin?
Oh, Lord, ages ago.
Oh, come on.
Oh, must I?
Yes, tell us.
No, don't. I'll tell you.
Oh, yes, all right. That's much more like it. Okay, come on. When was I born?
You're a Scorpio.
I'm sorry, I don't know when that is.
October, November.
October the 23rd, November the 21st.
Is she right?
Well, tell us.
I was born in 1940 on the 5th of May.
May.
Afraid so.
I don't believe it.
I'm sorry, it's true.
An opposition sign. I can be wrong, but not that wrong.
Next time I'll bring my birth certificate. So much for your science, eh?
Well, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have started this.
Look, it doesn't matter. You like another drink?
Oh, no, I really shouldn't.
Just a small one.
All right, thank you.
Debbie?
Yes, please.
Martin?
Yes, please. Here, let me give you a hand.
It's all right. I can manage.
Well, I wonder what's happened to Daddy. I hope he's not going to arrive in a foul mood.
Oh, I'm sure he won't, darling.
I apologize.
What for?
Spoiling your act.
Even the arrogance is Scorpio.
Oh, good. I like a woman who sticks to her guns.
Are you quite sure you weren't teasing?
Quite sure.
Help yourself to the tonic.
Oh, I don't deny there's a certain fascination about the unknown. Peering into the future, wondering.
Look, I'm not a crystal gazer any more than I'm a palmist, Mr. Seacombe.
Martin. It usually works then, does it?
Yes, it does.
Uh-huh. Tell me, what do you need to know before you can concoct one of these charts?
Concoct.
It's just a word.
The date and place, and if possible, the time of birth.
And that's all.
Yes, now, if you'll excuse me.
And from these simple facts, what can you tell me about me that I don't already know?
Oh, quite a lot. Now, would you...
Oh, sure. Mwah.
Debbie?
Thank you. I'm sorry you were wrong, Esther. You won't let that put you off him, will you?
Of course I won't.
Do you have a match? This needs a new flint.
Let me.
Thank you.
Is yours?
No, it's Martin's. Why?
Nothing.
Esther, will you do something for me?
Yes, of course.
Draw up a birth chart for Martin.
Well,
Please.
all right, if you want me to.
Oh, thank you. Oh, heavens, that'll be Daddy.
Oh, now, don't worry, I'll get it.
Will you?
Esther Jones.
Right the first time. Come on in, Mr. Mead.
So sorry I'm late.
Oh, that's all right.
We've nearly given you up, darling.
Couldn't get a taxi, darling, for love nor money.
Would you like a whiskey?
If there's time, I'd love one.
Daddy, I'd like you to meet Martin. Martin, this is my father.
How do you do?
Well, you know what they say. They also serve. Look, Commander, a little favour. I'd like 10 minutes with one of your bright boys. No, nothing like that. More, a personal problem? Oh, fine. Well, you know my beat. I'm usually here at the Commons. That's much appreciated. Bye.
You're quiet.
Oh, sorry.
Bad day at the house.
Oh, it was a long day. Got myself a nightcap. You want one?
No, thanks. Is it all right if I buy myself that new dress while I'm in town? I'd like to wear it next week.
Ah, which new dress was that?
For the French embassy.
Another evening on the bismuth bottle.
Oh, now, be fair. It's the German food that knocks you out.
Sauerkraut.
What about the dress?
How much?
90.
90 quid? My old man brought a new Austin 7 for 125.
Well, if it's too much, say so.
No, of course not. Go ahead.
Thanks.
Henry called me into his office this afternoon.
Oh?
I'm to be opposition spokesman for the environment.
Oh, that's marvellous. You said it was in the wind.
Yep. To be announced tomorrow evening, along with some other changes.
Oh, I am pleased.
Yep. Recognition at last.
Could that mean the cabinet if we get in next time?
Yes, government's making a statement about office development in a few days' time, and Henry wants me to put forward counter-proposals. Who knows? After 22 years, I could be an overnight success.
Richard.
Yeah? Yes?
Tonight at Esther Jones's, I don't think there's anything to worry about, you know. It is Debbie's life.
Deborah, not Debbie. You make her sound like a little girl.
One has to let children decide for themselves.
Please, Susan.
Well, I thought...
What?
Well, when you met Martin...
Yes?
Well, the way you looked at him, I don't know if anybody else noticed.
You were mistaken.
Oh, now, come on, Richard. You disliked him immediately and you don't even know him. It was so embarrassing, particularly over dinner.
He's wrong for her. Can't you get that into your head? Wrong for her on every count and in every way.
Well, I don't think he is. I think he's very nice. Open the window, will you, Richard? It's stifling. It's going to last according to the forecast. What are you doing, Richard?
I was just thinking. Sorry to keep you waiting, Inspector.
Ah, Mr. Mead.
What is it now?
This place fascinates me. Mother of Parliament, cradle of democracy.
I'm afraid I am already late for a committee meeting, if you...
Yes, of course, sir. It's just a question that's been raised, sir.
Oh, who by?
By me, actually, as a result of inquiries.
I see.
Could you tell me the exact time that you arrived at your flat on the night of the murder, sir?
I thought I already had.
Well, not quite, sir, no. I'm just tidying a few loose ends up, sir. You said you went to bed at about 11 o'clock or thereabouts.
That's right. Got in about 9, had a drink, settled down to read some official papers. Why? Look, why are we going over all this again?
Well, someone said, sir, that they thought they had you arrive home a little later. Much later, in fact, about 12:15. And not necessarily alone. They said they had talking, laughter.
Really?
Yes. I thought conceivably you might have made a mistake about the time.
Well, who gave you this information?
No, I'm sorry, sir. I can't tell you that.
Well, it's they who made the mistake.
You're telling me, sir, that it was a mistake.
That's exactly what I am telling you.
Of course, they weren't absolutely certain that it was your voice. They said it was, what was the word they used? Slurred. Yeah. As if they'd been drinking. Both of them. Must have been one of the occupants of the other flats, sir.
Must have.
Yes. Well, thank you for helping me sort that out, sir. Very grateful. Have to check, you know. Perspiration and shoe leather. That's how it's done. Oh, sir, one other thing, sir. The commander mentioned that you had a personal problem you wanted to discuss.
With you?
Well, as I was on the scene, so to speak, or so to listen.
I see.
If you'd rather not, sir.
Oh, no. It was just that it was a matter of some delicacy. Are you married, Inspector?
No, sir, no. I believe in travelling hopefully rather than arriving.
Ah, still in your line of work, I'm sure you'd understand.
Well, I'll try, sir.
Well, it's about my daughter. She introduced us to her latest boyfriend the other evening, and, well, in my position, one has to be careful.
You didn't take to it?
It wasn't just that. It's something, well, to be quite honest, I suspect him.
Of what?
Well, his motives, his intentions. He doesn't appear short of money, and yet he doesn't seem to have a regular job, at least not one that I can discover. Dabbles in property, stocks and shares, so he says. Well, I mean, as we know, that could mean anything. And I was wondering if you could just drop his name in the pool, see if it causes any ripples. Eh? Seacombe. Martin Seacombe.
Seacombe.
All right, Debbie. We've done Henley and Wimbledon. Who's eating where in the King's Road and who's wearing what from Bieber's? Now, why did you really come?
Martin.
How is he?
Fine.
What's it really about?
You said you'd do his birth chart.
That's right.
Well, on second thoughts, I don't want you to bother.
You don't or he doesn't?
We don't.
I see.
Something wrong?
Yes, I've already done it.
Oh, Esther, I'm sorry.
It's quite funny. That's never happened to me before.
What?
Well, if people don't believe in astrology, they're usually curious. Curious to know more, even if it's just to poke fun at it.
You don't like Martin, do you, Esther?
What made you say that?
It's obvious. Daddy hates him, too.
Tell me, Debbie, how serious is it?
It's serious.
Look, it's a family matter. It's not something I want to get involved in.
Esther, we're good friends, aren't we?
You know we are.
Well, I'm in need of a good friend right now.
All right. What do you know about him?
Well, very little, I admit. You probably know more than I do.
Well, whatever you want to know, why don't you ask him? It's normal. He'd expect it.
Every time I ask him anything, I know exactly what he's thinking. He thinks I'm spying for Daddy, an agenda of pertinent questions. What did you find out from doing his birth chart?
Nothing. Absolutely nothing. I've done his chart, and it bears no more resemblance to Martin than it does to my window cleaner.
Well, why not?
Well, it'll sound like sour grapes, but I still think he's Scorpio. Look, attractive personality, easygoing, obstinate, deep sympathy for loved ones, home-loving. That's not Martin, is it?
Isn't it?
Look, ever since I held his lighter in the kitchen, I've been feeling uneasy. Are you really sure about him?
There's only one way to find out, isn't there?
Nothing? Nothing at all?
Not on record, sir.
Are you sure?
Short of making one up, yes, sir.
I am surprised.
You expected Seacombe to have a record, sir?
No, it was just a hunch. You know about hunches, Inspector.
Yes. Very much frowned on by the powers that be. Well, that's all I have to report, sir.
Could be that Seacombe isn't his real name.
Could be.
Well, it's not impossible, is it?
No, it's not. Mr. Mead, if you have anything against this man, anything positive, I think you should tell me.
Positive? No, I haven't got anything positive.
Just a hunch.
Well, doesn't it seem strange to you, the young man who, judging by his appearance, his flat, his jewellery, is well off, has, as far as I've been able to discover, no regular employment?
Family connections?
No.
Sounds as if you've been busy, sir.
Oh, I have. He dabbles in stocks and shares, so he says. What do you think?
That he dabbles in stocks and shares?
Are you laughing at me, Inspector?
No, sir.
Too much the heavy father, eh? You're probably right. Look, before you go, how about a little drink, eh? Just a small one.
Oh, thank you, sir. You don't have to twist my arm. I'm off duty anyway.
Oh. Whiskey, then.
Please.
Yes, just a fussy Victorian father. Deborah thinks so. My wife thinks so. And obviously you do too.
Thank you. I think I'd need notice of that question, sir.
How's the case coming along?
Slowly.
Any ideas?
Well, there's never shortage of those, sir.
About who did it?
Are you asking officially or unofficially, sir?
Perhaps I shouldn't be asking at all. Cheers.
I'm ready, Brad.
Did you know you've got black fly
What?
on your hydrangea?
No, I didn't.
Come and have a look.
Look, I don't think another night's going to do any harm, is it?
If you're very good, I'll lend you my spray.
Look, I'm perfectly capable of dealing with a few green fly.
Black fly, and not a few, lots.
Well, how do I look?
Fine. Spray it on, preferably after rain. Well, where are you taking me?
I thought it was your treat.
What, on a copper's pay?
A copper of independent means.
Look, a bet is a bet, right?
You're holding me to that.
Oh, I certainly am.
So I was wrong. I said your brother was Pisces. He was Aries. I was 4 days out.
You
4.
said, just by looking at his eyes only mark you, that you could tell what sign he was born under.
Well, I'm thinking of giving that up. It doesn't seem to work as well as it used to.
Another clanger.
Look, I said it was possible, not probable. Pisceans have striking eyes. Think of Elizabeth Taylor.
I do, often. I don't see what that's got to do with my brother George.
Yes, but he does have beautiful eyes.
One might wish they were a little wider apart. If they were apart at all would be an improvement.
Oh, meow.
Oh, talking of eyes, tell me something. Do you ever sit inside during an evening without drawing the curtains?
Often.
And when it gets dark, you switch on the light, but you don't necessarily draw them.
Look, what's all this got to do with eyes and curtains?
No, just a case I'm working on, that's all.
The Jennifer Seymour murder.
How do you know that?
Was in all the papers.
Oh, anything about me?
No.
Oh.
Why didn't you tell me?
Well,
Were you keeping it a secret?
secret? Don't be ridiculous.
I've never seen such a guilty expression. All right. What do you want to know?
From whom?
I suppose I asked for that.
Look, I know this will come as a surprise, Esther, but there are certain cases that I can actually solve alone, unaided, and by myself.
Really?
Yes, really.
It must be straightforward. What happened? Did you find the killer drunk on the floor, prints all over the murder weapon, and a signed confession in his top pocket?
You do know that sarcasm is the lowest form of wit, don't you? You stick to crystals, and I'll stick to crime, right?
All right. What facts have you got?
Look, I do not need your help, right?
Right.
Right. I can tell you that, well, I can tell you that it was a call girl that was murdered.
Ah, fact 1, how murdered.
Strangled.
Fact 2, when?
About 1:30 in the morning.
Oh, fact 3, motive?
Well, it wasn't robbery.
Fact 4, how do you know?
There was nothing taken.
Fact 5.
But will you stop that? I can perfectly well count myself.
And those are the facts?
Well, some of them.
Oh, you mean there's more?
Well, I do have one important lead.
Oh, you have done well.
Not bad, considering.
And what do you call an important lead?
Well, I think an eyewitness would qualify, don't you?
An eyewitness? Oh, Grad, play your cards right and you'll be on case of the day. Big Dave Gradley scores arrest of the month. You'll soon be transferred to S Division for £250,000.
It's not quite as easy as that.
Oh, how come?
Well, for some reason, my eyewitness is being uncooperative.
Wouldn't you know it? Only you, Grad, could have an uncooperative eyewitness. They're usually dying to tell anything to anybody.
Yes, I know. Why isn't he? I really must lend you that spray.
Richard?
Ah. That it?
Well, if you mean is this the expensive creation you've just paid the earth for, the short answer's yes. Do you like it?
They look beautiful.
You really mean it?
Yeah, quite beautiful.
You don't think it's too plain?
No, not in the least.
Not well, frozen mutton trying to look like the other
For the
thing.
third and final time, you look lovely.
I think I'm going to enjoy this evening.
Let's do that, shall we?
I told the driver we wouldn't meet him again until 12. Is that all right?
Sounds fine.
Oh, damn, I've left my glasses in the bedroom. Would you mind, darling?
Of course.
They're on the side.
Can I say something?
Free country.
If we get married.
When we get married.
All right, when we're married, will we still live here?
Well, don't you want to?
Yes.
No, I don't mind. If you want something different, a house or something, that's okay.
Given a choice, I'd prefer something a little less.
Yes, that's my Deborah. No nonsense, feet planted solidly.
Oh, it's just a preference, that's all.
Well, let me tell you why I bought this place. When I was younger, I was skint, stony broke, and I lived in a basement. 2 years, I never saw the sun. 2 years solid of electric light. You know, I damn near turned into a mole.
The little gentleman in black velvet.
Beg your pardon.
The mole, the one that tripped the king's horse and broke his neck, don't you remember?
Listen, darling, the only black velvet I know comes out of champagne glasses. I'm not used to educated women.
Come off it. 2 A-levels isn't educated, not these days.
Listen, it is where I come from.
I hope you'll show me that basement sometime.
There's nothing romantic about being poor.
Isn't there? Will we have lots of rows?
Oh, constantly. Special crockery laid on just for chucking at each other.
No, seriously.
No, of course not.
Well, what do couples row about?
Money. She wants, he doesn't.
Is that all?
Sex, he wants, she doesn't.
You hypocrite.
What are you doing? No, Debbie! No, I'm starving. I've got to eat.
Later.
No, right now. I am absolutely famished. Come on.
Take it back, then.
All right, I take it back.
I hadn't expected that.
What?
Didn't you see him at the window?
No.
Of course. That's how it happened. The murderer and Jennifer Seymour were having a row, right? There. Now, the curtains were drawn at this time. I reckon my eyewitness was woken up by the sound of their voices. What's that?
The thin red line. I should have said the thin red wine.
Look, do you want to know what happened or not?
I'm agog.
Right. Now, he came to the window and he saw the murderer's face. The murderer, having killed Jennifer Seymour, stood up and drew the curtains.
How do you know?
Forensics. There was blood on the curtains. An MP, you see. Frightened of being compromised. Friends of yours?
Deborah Mead.
Mead?
Yes.
Not the daughter of...
Yes. Richard Mead, the Labour... Don't tell me he's the MP who...
How do you know the Mead family?
Through Debbie, she's an old chum.
Who's the man with her?
The new fiancé, Martin Seacombe.
So that's Seacombe.
Don't tell me what's something on him.
No. He's as clean as a piece of his whistle. I've checked.
You've what?
A little favour for the commander. Mead's worried about him.
Yes, I know.
How do you know?
Well, they first met at my flat.
At your flat?
Yes.
You just can't keep your nose out of my cases, can you?
Don't be ridiculous, Grad. They popped in for a quick drink and Mead called in to pick them up. That's how they first met.
It must have been just before he got onto me.
Well, Mead went as white as a sheet and refused to shake hands with him. I've heard of instant character analysis, but whew.
What was Seacombe's reaction?
Well, he behaved quite normally. I think he was caught on the hop like the rest of us.
Tell me something. Astrologically speaking, do you think Mead's concern is justifiable?
Well, there's the rub.
Where?
Martin told me he was Taurus, May the 5th.
Well?
I don't believe him.
Well, he should know.
Agreed.
Well, what do you think he is?
Scorpio?
What does he do for a living, do you know?
I don't know.
Or can you guess?
No, I can't.
May the 5th, Taurus, eh? Come on.
Where are you going?
You know what they say, if you can't beat 'em, join 'em.
You're kidding.
Why?
Grad, they're in love. It's a romantic setting. They want to be alone.
Come
I
on.
wouldn't expect you to understand.
Come on. Now look, don't introduce me as Inspector. Just plain David, right? Oh, second thoughts. Make it the Honourable.
Look, it's Esther.
Oh, hello, Esther.
Esther.
Hello, Debbie. Hello, Martin.
yeah.
Oh, we didn't see you come in.
I think we got to the trough first. Good evening.
Evening.
Oh, sorry. This is David. The Honourable David Bradley. Deborah Mead, Martin Seacombe.
Hello. How do you do?
Well, come and join us.
Yes, why not?
Oh, we'd love to.
Oh, no. These young lovebirds want to be alone. After all, you're only young once, what? Anyway, we've already... Oh, well, just for a couple of jiffies, what?
Good. Well, why don't you sit down here,
Are
Esther?
you sure it's us?
I'll sit by you if that's all right, Miss Mead.
Of course.
Thank you.
Had you ordered?
Yes. Apparently the pasta's flown in from Rome. Trouble is, they wait for you to order it first.
Esther.
Not for me, thank you.
Grad. I don't use them, thank you.
It's a nice place. Have you been here before?
Yes. Once or twice. And you?
First time, at least it is for me. It's Martin's local.
Oh, come on, darling. Slight exaggeration. A friend of mine brought me here once, that's all.
Well, that's how we all get to these places, isn't it?
Yeah.
What line are you in, Seacombe?
Line.
Oh, business. How do you turn a penny?
Very boring city.
Ah, I had a friend in oil. He said that was very boring.
I expect he found a bit more loot in it, though.
Aye. Oh, loot. Talking of loot. Would you help me win a small wager?
I don't think we'd object too strongly, would we, darling?
No.
Now, when were you born, sir?
Oh, I think we've been through all this before with Esther.
No, nothing up my sleeve. Just the date, that's all.
May the 5th.
Thank you, darling.
Ah, well, at least you got one birthday present. Now, this is my wager with Esther. I maintain that everyone knows their birth sign. She says they don't. I say you will. She says you won't. Right? Now then, May the 5th, that makes you a what? Oh, come along now. Everyone knows their birth sign. I mean, Cromwell was Taurus, Napoleon Leo. May the 5th makes you a...
I'm very sorry. I have absolutely no idea. Astrology is just not my scene.
Oh, well, another 5 on the slate, old thing. Well, I am disappointed you, I really am. Ah, I think our plane's arrived.
Well, I think this time she wants to get married.
Married? Over my dead body.
She's over 18, Richard.
She knows nothing about him.
Nor do you.
Well, I know the sort of man he is.
And so does she, presumably.
After half a dozen meetings.
You've met him once, that's all.
A few expensive meals, nightclubs, and a lot of chat. Seen his type before. I've met them like the PRs greasing around Whitehall.
Richard, what is it you've got against him?
Weeks. That's all she's known him. And now, suddenly, wants to spend the rest of her life with him.
Because she's in love with him. It's natural enough.
She doesn't know what I...
Is it something you know, Richard?
Oh, Susan, please, trust me.
Do you know anything,
Look,
Richard?
I know he's no damn good.
Well, you keep saying that, but why?
I only wanted to wait. Just wait, that's all. You don't have to rush into marriage. We didn't.
Oh, Richard, that was 25 years ago. Today it doesn't matter what parents think.
Why all the speed, for God's sake? She doesn't know where he comes from, what he does for a living, does she? And how about his family? Has she met them? Has she seen anything of his background?
She says she doesn't care about his background.
Oh, well, I do. I care. I got where I am through caring.
Richard, please.
Oh, dear God. Look, take my word for it. Just take my word for it.
But even if I will she?
I only wanted to wait.
I don't think she will wait. I think she'll marry him with or without our consent. I don't see how you can stop her.
Don't you?
Oh, I'll get it.
Good girl.
Daddy.
May I come in?
Morning.
My driver's downstairs. When you've dressed, I suggest you get in the car, please, and go to the flat. Your mother's there.
I'm sorry, Daddy, but I'd rather stay here.
Please.
Lovey, do as your father says. I'll call you later. We'll have lunch together. Well, would you like some coffee?
No, thank you.
At least sit down.
No.
Oh, dear, it's one of those. Horsewhip in the jacket pocket.
I hear Deborah wants to marry you.
Yes, she does, and I want to marry her.
You're not marrying my daughter.
Oh. Have you told her?
Look, I didn't come here to answer questions. I want to put some facts to you.
Really?
Oh, yeah, really.
Well, in that case, I'd better sit down, hadn't I?
Find this amusing, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
Let's see if you still think so by the time I finish. Very well. Let's start with all this, shall we? This address, this opulence.
Well, it's hardly opulence. It's a pleasant flat, tastefully furnished. All paid for, I hasten to add. No inflationary HP.
I believe you, so where did all the money come from?
Hey, what is this, a means test? I thought your party didn't go in for those. Anyway, I think my money's my business, don't you?
Do you? Well, I've made it my business, too.
Oh, you have been busy.
Yes, I have. You're a bloody pimp. All this comes from prostitution. Oh, you've been successful. Very successful. So much so that the big league, the experienced boys, are beginning to find you a nuisance. Soon you're going to have to look elsewhere for your income.
God, joking.
And then, by luck, you met Deborah, daughter of an MP with a bit of capital behind him, and you started to think, married to her, you'd be on easy street for the rest of your life. Well, you can't deny it, can you? For the last time, you leave Deborah alone.
Hang on a minute, just hang on. Now, let me ask you something. You're an MP, right? Influential, the old boy network and all that. Now, if you really believe all this rubbish about me, how come you don't go to the police, hmm? Oh, that was an interesting question, wasn't it? I don't think I heard an answer. So I asked myself, what kind of skeleton has good old RM got hidden away in his cupboard?
You sicken.
Oh, come on, don't try and kid me. You're no different. So I asked myself, why don't you just turn me in?
You stay away from my daughter, is that clear? I know all about you. I know everything.
So what are you going to do about it, eh?
You're not going to use Deborah the same way you used all the others.
I hadn't thought of that. That's not a bad idea. She's good enough at it.
Hello?
No flat A's and don't mumble.
I never mumble.
You do when you're nervous. And don't forget, I shall be sitting in the gallery, so even if the government front bench fall asleep, I still want to hear.
I hope it won't be as dull as that.
Darling, you sure you're all right?
Oh, yes, of course. Don't fuss, Susan.
I'm sorry, darling, but I know how important it is.
Well, exactly.
Hey, what's the matter with your shirt?
What?
Oh, your cufflink's missing. And the shirt's torn. How did you do it, Richard?
Ah, Esther, where have you been?
Since I've home,
Yes.
I've been sitting in the park with my head between my knees.
You shouldn't have come back, you know.
Well, I wanted to help. I mean, after all, I did find the body.
Yes, I know. Oh, we shall need a statement from you. What were you doing here, anyway?
Well, I wanted to see for myself.
What?
The lion in his den, the scorpion in his... He was Scorpio, I knew it.
You said you thought he was
A
Scorpio.
friend
didn't...
at Somerset House.
Oh.
I told you he was Scorpio.
Well, I'm glad we managed to solve that for you.
Look, I did a quick chart. Saturn was holding him back, and he was getting more and more impatient. He just couldn't wait for the rewards that Saturn would have eventually brought him. It's sad.
Very. Look, I told you before, I can handle this on my own, right? I don't need any rabbit's feet or goat's entrails or anything like that.
Oh, you arrogant man.
Shh. Arrogant me? Rubbish.
Yes, you're like most men.
How's that?
Terrified to ask for help.
I don't need help, particularly the kind of help you can offer. Bed, book and candle.
Bell, book and candle, please.
Look, I don't know whether you realise it, but I am in the middle of a murder investigation. You are here on sufferance only, right?
All right, I'm sorry.
Nasty cough you got there, Sergeant?
Sir?
What's the trouble?
Photos, sir.
Oh, good. Let me have a look. Ah, thank you. Yes, righto, Sergeant, thank you. I'll take care of these. I'll see you back in the yard in about 20 minutes, all right?
Very good, sir.
Dare I ask what?
Well, they're not pictures of Noddy.
Oh, I didn't think they would be.
That's amazing. That's fantastic. Amazing camera work. I would have thought that's impossible.
Look, are you going to go through it page by page while I just sit here waiting for your bon mot?
Well, well, well. Look at this.
Thank you, I'd rather not.
It's a picture of Jennifer Seymour.
Jennifer Seymour?
Hmm.
Why would Martin have a picture of her?
Haven't you tumbled to it yet? Our city friend, Martin Seacombe, was nothing more than a cheap pimp.
Pimp?
Pimp. Ponce. Panda. Of course, that doesn't prove he killed the girl. No, we still need Mead for that. Just a sec.
What?
Now, listen.
Can't hear a thing.
No, me. Listen to me. Now, Mead saw the girl murdered, right?
Well, that's your theory.
We'll say it's a fact.
All right, just to please you, Mead saw the girl murdered, fact one.
Yeah, don't start that again. Now, he saw the face of the killer before he drew the curtains, right?
If he pulled the curtains after murdering her.
Forensics say he did. That's good enough for me. Now, Mead refuses to admit that he was an eyewitness, doesn't he, right?
So far.
Right. Now, supposing he saw the same face, the killer's face, a few days later, only this time it was at your flat.
You're assuming Martin killed the girl?
Yes.
Why?
Because it would explain so many other things, that why. His hostility towards Martin. The reason why he didn't want his daughter to marry him. The fact that he asked me to check to see whether Martin had a criminal record. He did everything short of coming out and saying that he knew Martin was the murderer.
And now your murderer has himself been murdered.
Yes. What? Yes. You see that? Do you know what that is?
It's a cufflink.
I know it's a cufflink. Do you know who it belongs to?
No.
Richard Mead, MP.
So?
So, do you know where I found it? Right here in this room.
Well, he couldn't kill anyone.
Oh, really? What makes you say that? As if I didn't know. I did his chart.
Yes, it's his next birthday present, little does he know it. He is slightly irrational and emotional and quick-tempered, but his son gives him a very basic desire for peace. He might blow up and rant and rage, but he wouldn't kill anyone.
Go on, dig your own grave. Make a fool of yourself.
Look, as far as I can remember, Venus shows that he's a great sucker as far as women are concerned. Of course!
Of course what?
Brad, don't you see?
See
he wasn't
what?
just protecting himself.
Who wasn't?
Mead.
Wasn't he?
No! I bet you he had a girl in there with him.
Oh, do me a favour. Look, he's an MP. Wouldn't take the risk in his own
sweet old-fashioned thing. I bet you the night of the murder, Richard Mead had a girl in there with him. You see, Grad, the age of chivalry is not over.
Yeah, nor is the age of guesswork.
Look, although I believe he would do anything to stop Deborah from marrying Martin.
Anything?
Anything excluding murder.
Well, I still say this is his cufflink.
It doesn't prove he killed anyone, unless, of course, you think it was the murder weapon.
Well, it proves he was here.
Richard couldn't kill anyone.
Well, we'll see. Correction, I'll see. And no, you can't come with me. Under no circumstances. Right? You stay there. Right.
Inspector,
Good afternoon, sir.
let's sit down, shall we? What can I tell you? bang to rights. That's the expression, isn't it?
I think that's as good as any, sir. Shall we start with your visit to Seacombe's flat?
We had a row. I hit him. He fell. Struck his head.
Did you mean to kill him, sir?
No. I lost my temper. That's it. Takes a lot of thinking about and very little saying.
That's not quite all, surely, sir.
Pardon?
Well, what was the row about?
Oh, I think you know that, Inspector.
You didn't want your daughter marrying a murderer, is that it? You saw Martin Seacombe kill Jennifer Seymour?
That's right.
Why did you lie to me, son?
I was foolish.
Yes, you were. There'd have been no need to mention the lady's name, sir.
That was a risk I wasn't prepared to take.
I see.
So, your informant was right. 2 slurred voices.
It was the hall porter. You put me onto him, remember? Well, I'm afraid I shall have to ask you to come down to the local station, sir. We'll need a formal statement.
Of course. Will there be any need for my wife to know?
Well,
Oh, that's the division bell. I've just wound up a very important debate. I would like to vote, if I may. It was a very special moment for me.
Of course, sir.
I'll only be a few moments.
That's all right, sir.
You'll, wait there, then?
No, I think I'll saunter back to the office. I've got a bit of paperwork to catch up on.
But... well, you have to charge me. Manslaughter, isn't it?
Seacombe isn't dead, sir.
Isn't dead?
You should thank God that he had an armor-plated skull.
But you told me...
No, sir. You jumped to a conclusion. A wrong conclusion. With respect, sir, I think you're a very lucky man. Under the circumstances, I don't think Seacombe will be preferring charges against you.
See? And that just leaves the little matter of my eyewitness account.
Correct, sir.
Looks as if I'll need to have another chat with my friend the Commander.
Must you, sir? Oh, well. I always fancied being Chief of Police in the Outer Hebrides. Or Mull. I must say, it's rather nice to know that I've actually solved a case all on my own for once.
Yes.
Yes, gives one a really good feeling. Walking through Berkeley Square this evening, I could swear I could almost hear nightingales.
I still don't believe it.
Been a bit of a damp squib for you all round, hasn't it, old thing?
I just don't believe it.
What? What don't you believe?
Richard Meade.
What about him?
Or that he could kill anyone. It's just not in his chart.
Oh, I think we need a refill here.
Of course. How stupid can you be? Martin isn't dead, is he?
What?
He's not dead.
Well,
Is he?
He's not very well.
Not dead.
But he's got a very bad fracture.
He's not dead.
Very bad fracture indeed.
He's not dead.
He's in intensive care.
He's not dead.
He's not dead.
Grad, you bastard. You lying, deceitful bastard. You let me believe
No, I let
that,
Richard Meade believe. Look, I had to. You don't seem to understand. If I hadn't, we wouldn't have had a case. Seacombe's not going to prefer charges, is he? We'd have been back to square one. No eyewitness. Now, I don't like lying. Really, I don't. It's not in my nature. It's against me.